Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame. Today it gives me great pleasure as we open up our 2023 season here on the program. We're going to get Sonny here a little closer to me. You got Sonny here. And of course we got Joe to my left, but I'm going to introduce them formally. We are honoring these two men. They're going to be inducted this year into the 16-inch Chicago Softball Hall of Fame on October 28th. We're going to talk to them about their careers today. To my left, which will be on this side, is going to be Joe Somodi. Joe, congratulations again and welcome to the interview today.
Thank you.
And to my right over here, it's going to be Sonny Sims or Dwayne Spivey, but the nickname is Sonny Sims. And Sonny, thanks for coming in. Yeah, great to see both of you and honored to have you here. I got to ask both of you guys because my thing was playing softball, but not at the level that you guys played at. But I was inducted into the Illinois Hockey Hall of Fame because hockey was my thing. I'm going to start with Joe today. Joe, what did it mean to you when you got the call from Paul Rowan that you were definitely gonna, go in? What was that first reaction before we start talking a little bit about your career, and then we'll go.
I was very excited and happy, and thanking the people that made it happen, and all my teammates. I was overwhelmed at first.
Yeah.
Now it's sunk in.
I'm
actually enjoying it, and take pride in it.
Exactly, and that's why I wanted to open it up this way today on your thoughts. Sonny, well, of course, I know the first name is Dwayne, but I love the nickname, also known as Sonny Sims. Sonny, for you, what does it mean to you? Because, man, we're going to go back to Joe as I talk a little bit to him, but it looks like your career starts in 1964. So what did it mean to you now here, 2023? Did you ever think it was going to come to this, to get to this level?
To me, it's a godsend. From, like I said, all my teammates and managers, and just the whole softball nation. It's just a blessing. And I worked hard to, end softball. And I love softball for life.
That's fantastic, fantastic. I can see by both of you guys, just in your opening deliveries here today, the passion that I meant. We'll start with Joe. Joe, you're a Southsider from on the south side of Chicago, and of course, your dad was the famous Tonto, who played the game. And of course, I, read the things about the sewer lids on the corners and playing and everything else in your bio. Did you know kind of right away from that moment that, hey, I like this game, I want to play this game? As we all do, we try to emulate someone, but how did this start for you? Is it dad?
Yeah, it was my dad. I used to go almost be the bat boy. I think I was like 7 years old, 6 years old, and go to his games, and all his friends would pitch to me while they're, on the sidelines, and and I just wanted to play after that. And like, we used to take some of the balls from my dad's game, and us kids would play all night on the street corner with the bases where the sewer lids.
Sure,
Sure.
And go over like maybe something that they had done in a game too, right? Something that you saw your dad emulate your dad in a way, right?
Yeah.
You were a center fielder?
Yes, most of my career, yes.
And what position did your father play?
Shortstop.
Okay.
Third base.
Sure. Yeah, great. Back over here to Sonny, and again, guys, I know we're in a kind of a little bit of a tight quarter, so try to speak as loud as you can, because we lose the here. We're in this beautiful building, by the way, here today. We're at the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame. I want to thank Paul Rowan for setting this up today for the time that we're going to be doing these on Saturdays. But we are in this beautiful building with a lot of memories, jerseys, artifacts of the game, articles, and I think if I walked around this room, I'm going to find things about Sonny, and I'm going to find things about Joe if I really walk around to see some of the championships. But going now to you, Sonny, how does it start for you when I see that 1964? How old were you in 64, and how does it get started for you?
For me, I was playing baseball, but I got hit a lot because I couldn't get out the way.
I see.
So I got hit a lot while I was batting.
So you're talking league ball. We're
Yeah,
talking about a regular
yeah.
league ball.
Yeah, so my manager, Floyd Neal, introduced me to the 16 inch softball, and I've been stuck ever since. Some of the good players that over there, one of our guys that passed away early, Billy Bumstead, y'all might know him, William Johnson. And I watched him hit. And one of the other pitchers, Mike Tallow, I watched him pitch.
Wow.
And a lot of the hitters, extra hitters, like Willie Simpson, J.T. Colby, all those guys, Johnny Kelleher, just a good group of guys in their family. I just love this game, like I say, softball is life.
Fantastic. And some of the names you brought up, the hair started raising a little
Yeah.
bit here. So that, Joe, even for you, I mean, you kind of get it going in 75, correct? I mean, this is when I think the career for you starts to get going again. And do you remember again at that level, do you say to yourself, just kind of like Sonny just said, now, when does it start for you where you say, you know what, I can do this, I can play with these guys? What was that breaking moment that you remember?
Like I said, 75, right out of high school, I think I was 17 and a half. I wasn't even 18 yet, and I was playing in a couple of leagues with our neighborhood team called the Burnside Bums. And a few years later, moved on to the East Siders.
East Siders.
And we had a really young, fast, very good defensive team. And the teams knew when they played us, we gave them a good game.
Sure.
And right around 1980, we started playing major ball. And it was our first nationals trip was very exciting. And after that, it was, I want to play this and be in all these national tournaments all the time. So right around 1980.
So 80s the turn. I'll go back to Sonny here for a sec. Sonny, I know you started in 64. Did you see the turn like Joe is mentioning now that now we're going to this higher level of the game, or you were seeing the different athlete, or you're starting to come play against the more of, let's say, your level? And by the way, I tried doing the research on you. What position did you play, Sonny?
Pitch.
Oh, you're a pitcher.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, that's
okay.
all I did is pitch. I got the first, let's say, real touch of it with the Flamingos, and then with the Senators.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Hank Kemp and Willie Kemp and all the Kemp brothers. I got, which was good here. There was a good team.
Oh, wow.
And they introduced me with the 41st Kelly Park.
Wow.
So I played in Kelly Park and played against the big guys,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic stuff. Like I say, softball for life.
For this softball, I think that's going to be your motto. Joe, you bring up an important date, and I kind of just was glancing over when Sonny was talking here, 1980. So you guys have kind of, even though I think there's a little bit of a gap in the era of when you played, but I had asked Joe before you walked in the door, you guys did cross paths in a plane.
Oh, yeah.
You did guys cross
Oh,
paths.
yeah.
So,
Island?
yeah,
So
were you guys ever on the same team?
no.
Okay, so now
All-Star team.
all-star team, okay,
Yeah, when the North was playing the South.
okay. Got it.
I think we were the South.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were out, and then the guy from there was from my prospect that we played against. I think we did play together.
Well, here's my question for both of you as we go on with this. So you had to face him, he had to face you. I played at not the level again that you guys played, but my problem was the guy who had this high arc, okay? Because now this little Italian guy here, it can't adjust. And he's adjusting in his mind, and now he's waiting, and now this shoulder is going down. So was he hard to face, or could you handle what he was doing? You guys must have faced each other. So how was he for?
It always, when I would face the pitch, it was the
High arc.
Until they brought this baseball thing.
Yeah.
But it was unlimited arch and stuff like that. So
And were you able to move off the rubber
Oh,
in
yeah.
different directions?
Oh, yeah.
Of
yeah.
the, going left to right?
Oh,
So. What I find amazing, and Joe brought this up, and you brought it up in a different sense, is that those days, there's no Google, there's no YouTube. Oh yeah, those are the East, the East Siders. This guy does this, that. You guys played enough against each other where you knew his tendencies and you knew his tendencies.
Right.
This guy's a slap. This guy's a dump hitter over the third baseman. This guy dumps to right. This guy does this and that. So. Did you always, both of you had, I'll present it to Joe, did you always had to kind of adjust Joe to, let's say, when Sonny was pitching?
A little bit,
Yeah,
depending on where their teammates were playing.
right.
Depends on if you pitched it inside, outside. You go with the pitch sometimes, and you try to go either way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, going back to you, Sonny, let's say you faced him 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, he goes 3 for 4 against you. Did you have that recollection in your mind? Oh, God.
Oh, of course.
I got, okay,
Oh, yeah.
Somodi's coming up,
Yeah,
he
of
did
course.
this against me. Yeah,
Of course, because you basically don't want him to come up when there's men on base.
exactly.
And so other than that, if there's no men on base, I'm gonna just pitch it regular. But if there's no men on base, like I say, I'll pitch it regular, but if there's men on base, then I gotta pitch him a different kind of stuff. I want him to try to hit my pitch,
Got it.
not his pitch.
Got it.
And so he's wanting, I'm not giving Giddy that even got for walk, but I'm not left the base blow. Other than that, he just got a hit. But other than that, I'm gonna try to get my pitch. I'm gonna hit my pitch.
Hit your pitch, right,
Yeah,
right.
And he's waiting for his pitch, but it ain't getting ready to come. I'm not serving that steak.
Joe,
I'm not serving that steak. I'm not
Right.
serving that steak.
Sometimes you have three balls, you gotta throw it over the plate.
Yeah. I'm not gonna serve the
you're
steak.
not gonna serve it to him.
I'm not gonna serve the steak up to him. He might get a small hamburger, but he won't get that steak.
You're not getting the fillet. You're not getting the fillet. Joe, and of course, back in those days, and I'll get off this topic, but this is so great that we're talking about this because our viewer who's gonna watch this is gonna understand what I'm trying to get to here. But in your situation, I really didn't know this that much until I talked to some guys on your level. You were able to move around in that box a little bit, right?
Right.
I mean, where the box wasn't stationary like playing league ball.
Oh, there was no box.
Yeah, there was no box, so you could start
Right.
behind the plate, off to the side of the plate to grab the inside or the outside pitches and everything else. Just fantastic.
Only when we went to the Nationals,
Yeah,
when they
it
drew a box.
Okay, they drew the box.
Other than that, no box.
It was kind of small too.
Now, if you're drawing a box, am I right to say that now it's advantage Sonny Sims?
A little.
Okay, because now Sonny Sims can come inside on you, Sonny Sims can come outside on you, do whatever. Yeah, you gotcha. Let's go back to you, Joe, for a second. So Joe, this career now with the East Siders, of course, you're playing at all these parks, man, Park Calumet, Dalton, Bessemer Park, you're playing all over, you're playing at the major level. This had to be just unbelievable, some of the players you played
Oh,
with,
yeah.
because to play at
So
that
many.
level.
I don't wanna name names.
No,
but
right.
We don't have time.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna miss my dinner here today if you name,
But
because
we played double headers 4 days a week,
Oh, yeah.
2 different parks.
Yeah. Go
And
from this part,
years.
out of that part.
and the jersey, the jerseys were in the back seat or in the trunk,
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you what I find amazing about you before I go back to Sonny. You retired 58 years old. Now, were you playing center field? Because you were the center fielder of the day. Were you playing center field till 58 years old?
Yeah.
How were you covering
But
the
at a
gaps?
different level.
Oh, okay, at a different level, because I'm like,
At
over
a
here,
different level
as
is
I
far.
was telling you when I came in today, I can't pick up a piece of paper nowadays, and we're the same age. So when I saw that stat, it was fantastic. Sonny, for you now, how does it? You have been named MVP over 20 times, and an all-star over 20 times. I mean, just that alone, forgetting that this honor that's gonna happen here on October 28th. Being in both of you being inducted in the Hall of Fame, what does that mean? You're 20 times as an MVP and 20 times as, an all-star.
Just fantastic. You just work hard at the game. You have to work hard at the game. Practice, practice, practice. You gotta practice. You gotta practice. You gotta practice. And then you'll watch the other good hitters like Joe You watch them get it, you can see what he's doing, and then you pick up the lessons, you pick it up from other softball players. That's top softball players. You wanna watch them to get to the level that you wanna get to.
Sure,
So
sure.
I like to hit, like to stay on base, so. If I don't get no hit, when I'm playing the game, I really don't get no sleep at night. Because basically, on the way to the game, I was in my office to the time, on the way to the game, I'm changing clothes doing 80 miles an hour.
And now get to that
To
part.
get to the park. That's how I get my practice. Yeah, so. I don't know how many people I ran over, oh, excuse me, but that's okay.
Exactly. Oh my God, I remember those days, just me playing in the local
Yeah.
parks. Joe, for you, I have to ask you because, I mean, both of you, I'm just astounded by the two careers and very happy again that this Hall of Fame came calling for both of you. But going back to you, Joe, I have to ask you, feeding off Sonny's answer of today, what do you think you were better at in the defensive part of the game or the offensive? What was Joe Somodi when he went to that park? Could you play the guy shallow in center field?
Yeah.
Could you play the guy deep and come in on a ball? What was your
I
forte?
think my defense was probably better than my offense.
But okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thrived on it. I was out there and saying to myself, I want these guys to hit the ball with me.
Got it.
Hit the ball with me.
Got it.
I'm gonna get it.
And it was no matter when we were talking before Sonny came in today, it was no matter if this thing was as hard as a rock. When we start this game, it's as hard as a rock. And I now am really impressed by your answer because when I was playing in these small leagues, I didn't want that ball to get hit because I didn't wind up the way I wound up. But that's something where you wanted it to come. You wanted to make that defensive play. Fantastic, fantastic. Sonny, let's say it was a national championship game, was an all-star game and everything else. You as the pitcher, you are the guy now, you're the quarterback, you're gonna start this game. You got this pivotal game, let's say, against the East Siders and everything else, and Death Wish is playing the East Siders. What goes through your mind when you knew you were in this game that had to be won? What was your forte, you think, that you brought? Was it not only the pitching, or could you come to that park with that bat in your hand?
Well, I sleep with my bat.
Okay,
I sleep with the bat.
I should change partners. This is a good idea.
I slept with my bat. I mean, hitting and stuff like that. I don't like to take a lot of batting practice because I don't want to wear myself out. You can have in batting practice, everybody's basically all over the field. So I'm give you a scenario.
Sure.
You got all your team is like you got them scattered everywhere, and you got about 5 or 6 in right center, 5 or 6 in left center, and something like that. But that's why I'm practicing hitting. I don't care because today I'm going to practice hitting that because when the game starts,
Okay.
When the game starts, ain't nobody there.
Right.
That I've been practicing on. When the game starts, there's nobody there. The right fielder's way out here, your center fielder's way out here, and your left fielder's way out there. This is open. This is what I practice on.
Got it.
When I come up to bat. That's my philosophy.
That was your philosophy.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So you really didn't believe in the batting practice.
I mean, I believe in batting practice. Of course, I believe in batting practice. I didn't believe in pitching batting practice.
Batting practice. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that part of it. Sure. But like say in the even like what we say if you were off night, because back in those days when we were all playing, was there an off night when you're playing in 2-3 leagues? Did you take from a bad game how you were gonna make how would you make the adjustment for the next game if you had the bad game?
I don't. You can't rewind it.
Right. Okay.
This is not TV. I'm not going to rewind none of that. I got to go into the next game just as hard as I went to that one. So I mean,
And you can't think about that.
No, I can't.
You can't
think about this.
Got it.
Lost.
Got it.
And I
Joe,
go back.
I'll go back to Joe. Joe, let's say, were you in the lineup? You were the center fielder. You're a guy about my height. Where I'm a little taller. No, but were you more of a leadoff guy?
Yeah.
I just looking at you today, I thought you were a leadoff guy, and I never saw you play, but what did you take to the plate every game, knowing if it was the game against, let's say, the Tigers, Safari, or whatever, or if it was just the local park? What was on your mind? What did you knew you had to get on, right? Let's start the party.
Wanted to get on.
Right. And you knew from, like I say, a past experience, okay, this guy does this guy does that. So like Sonny saying there's no rewind, but now your mindset is, okay, I gotta get going here.
Nah.
What kind of a hitter were you? Were you line drive, slap?
Line
Could you
drive.
dump? Could you do all?
Yeah, a little bit of dump and sometimes because of my height, they cheat me and I get lucky and hit down the lines and over their heads once in a while.
Right, you
Yeah.
can pound them out. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Well, I gotta tell you, you were hired at Inland Steel. I just want to kind of get to
Yeah.
the end of your thing at 1970, where you worked at for 47 years.
Yeah.
At there, and the last 15, you were the safety person at the department until you retired on May 1st of 2023. I know you came all the way today from Whiting, Indiana, which I really appreciate that, and the hall appreciates that. And before I finish up with you, I want to just take a little bit of a break here as we get closer here to the end. We are at the Chicago 16-inch softball Hall of Fame in downtown Forest Park. I want to thank Paul Rowan, our president, for setting this up every Saturday. Paul has done an amazing job here the last year, and when he told me again that you two guys were going to be in here on October 28th, coming up here for this Hall of Fame induction, just like you said, how you started this, just amazing that you guys are come out here and getting inducted. It's just the honor of honors. Joe, are you still involved with the game in the sense of teaching the game, showing the game? Do you get involved in all? And does anybody now in your family or cousins or friends want to emulate your stuff?
No, I think I'm the last one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. If you had to do it all over again, are you playing 16-inch softball?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It truly was the game of that era, without a doubt, and the way you dominated your position and everything else has been tremendous. Sonny, for you too. I mean, I know we go back maybe a little bit further with you in the early 60s, but what does it mean to you? And because I mean, you are known as a great pitcher and a notorious, that's a big word for me, notorious, for me to say that we're a notorious hitter. You guys both look like had, when I say both, Joe and yourself, you guys both were offensive and defensive minded in your heart of hearts. So how would you, if you had to do it all over again, is this the game you're playing again?
Well, I wish I could play it now.
Right. Are you still part of it in some of the respects, sir?
All I do is when the kids come through, I might suggest a few things in it. I don't try to get involved with any teams or anyway. It could be any individual. I'll, say, well, you need to practice on this. Other than that, I'm sitting in the chair drinking me a beer. And that's it. Now that do with my grandkids and go to their sports that they're doing now. So that's it. Softball for
Well,
life.
And here's how I'd like to end it. I mean, I don't like, I guess I'll use it like this. And you guys we're basically all in the same era here. I don't like change. I always bring up the fact that I still feel, if you guys have heard the name Stan Mikita, was better than a Patrick Kane. I just can't see, even though this Patrick Kane in hockey won 3 Stanley Cups and maybe Mikita won 1, but I just think our era was an era of the way the game should have been played. When I talk about softball, when you look at 16-inch softball today, could these guys have played in your era? Joe, did the question for you first.
I don't know that answer, but I don't know if they played as much as we did.
right?
If they do, I have no idea how
That's
many
not-
games a week they played.
That's probably a question
played
that
100,
Paul Rowan, our president, is in our audience. That's a great question because, maybe Paul probably will interview him this year. Well, I'm gonna ask him that question because Paul gets out to a lot of tournaments. Sonny, from what you know, do you think these guys today could have played in this era that you and Joe played in?
Some can, some couldn't, but we got some good young kids that's out there playing right now. I just want them to keep doing what they're doing and keep softball alive. See, we need it. We need it. We need that softball to be alive. Our era, we've had our era. It's like I said, it's gonna change, and then you just don't know. In the near future, we might be all dead and gone. They might be playing softball on the moon.
Yeah. that could be it. Well, I'd like to close it off by saying this today. Joe Somodi and Sonny Sims, I gotta tell you, this has been truly a thrill for me today, because again, thanks to Paul, I get to meet another two legendary players that I never saw play, but just from the resumes and just from the conversations of what this game both meant to you, it's something for me. Every time that Paul calls me, I get the goosebumps because I love interviewing guys that, of course, and how you reacted to being inducted and getting the call to be inducted here on October 28th, 2023.
Just want to say this.
Sure, don't you? Go ahead, Sonny.
Thank God for Paul Rowan.
Yes.
Softball.
Yes,
Since
since the day I met him, thank God for Paul Rowan, our president of the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame. Well, I always bend it like this. I have to tell you, just talking to you, Joe, today, and just talking to you, Sonny, and I'm gonna put my hands on both of these guys and tell my audience, another two of a dominating bunch. Congratulations, gentlemen. We'll see you on the 28th. Thank you.
All right.